demanding question. Assalamu
So I have been asked to make an announcement. Please consider investing in ISNA, your organization. You can make a big difference by donating just $10 a month by becoming an ISNA member and sustainer. Go online to ISNA.net to sign up. You can also support ISNA through the Feeling Blessed app listed in the program. ISNA needs you. My name is Hena Zuberi. I'm the Director of Outreach for the Burma Task Force, and it's my pleasure today to welcome our first speaker. Dr. Wakar is a professor at Pennsylvania State University. He's a Rohingya American born and educated in Burma. He leads the global Rohingya community, and he's the Director General of the Rakhine Rohingya Union. He's also the founding chairman of the Burmese Rohingya Association of North America. Dr. Uddin works with the UN, US government, European Union, OIC, and international community on Rohingya issues.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hena, for moderating this session. First of all, I wish to welcome all of you to this session today. It's a very important session, and that your presence makes a lot to the Rohingya people. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, thank you very much for all your support, moral support, material support, political support, humanitarian support you are giving for the Rohingya people. As Sister Hena said, I am a Rohingya. I am a Dr. Wakar, the Rohingya Muslim. I was born in Rakhine State, in Burma, and I witnessed a lot of injustice being done by the government of Myanmar to Rohingya people. But during my time, unfortunately, situation was not as bad as today. So during our time, discrimination was there, but we were able to seek education, and I went to college in Myanmar, in Burma, and then I came to the United States. So today, because session is 1 hour, so we have about 15 minutes, so we cannot cover pretty much everything, but I'm going to highlight a few things. First of all, last week, on 25th, marks the first anniversary of Rohingya exodus from Rakhine State to Bangladesh. That is the most recent major outflow of Rohingya leaving the country, being forced out by the Myanmar government, Myanmar military, specifically to different countries, not just Bangladesh, India, Malaysia, Indonesia, many countries. That's the recent major outflow that added to 1.1 million Rohingya in Bangladesh, not to mention other countries. There are over 800,000 Rohingya have arrived in Bangladesh starting on 25th of August, but let's not forget, we had nearly 500,000 Rohingya, I would say this specifically 450,000 Rohingya, pre-existed camps in Bangladesh from 1978 exodus and from 1992 exodus. So they are added to 1.1 million. International community is always talking about 700, 800,000 refugees that have arrived. But there are other ones also, they are already for decades under several serious conditions. So briefly, you have read a lot on internet, you have seen on the television, you have seen internet reports about situations. We are not going to go into detail of that. You are well aware of that, alhamdulillah. But let me just list a couple of major things what's going on in Rohingya community in Rakhine State. First, situation has not changed. Despite all this turbulence, all this international outcry, situation of Rohingya has not changed, believe it or not. Rakhine State, we have about, I would say roughly, we don't have a specific data, about 200,000 left Out of 3 million Rohingya, 3 million plus Rohingya, only about 200,000 left. Their condition has not changed. As I speak today, as of today, Myanmar, Burmese army has been arresting Rohingya men and boys, continued arrest. And that's causing a flow of, gradual flow of population to Bangladesh. It's not stopped yet because they are leaving, because they are going to be arrested, they are going to be beaten, there are atrocities, their families, they are continuous to go into Bangladesh. So it has not stopped. The ground situation on the ground. Human rights issues, so many human rights issues has not been stopped. Freedom of religion, worship, freedom of movement, access to education, access to healthcare, a right to marry, and I can go on and on, a range of issues that they are facing, right? And then they are livelihood is affected. No farming there, all villages have been burned. No people to do farming, and then fishing is not allowed. I'll tell you in a minute if we have time why fishing is not allowed. So these are the issues they are still facing inside the country. Let's not look at the refugee issues here, even people who are still there. Now, let's talk about repatriation. They are in Bangladesh. They are all together, 800, as I said earlier, 800,000 plus previous 450,000, over 1.1 million Rohingya in Bangladesh in camps. Recently, as you've seen several months ago, Myanmar government has signed an MOU with government of Burma, Myanmar, for repatriation of these folks, Rohingya, refugees. And the MOU clearly says that safe, dignified, and voluntary return of the refugees to their original homes. I will stress, original homes. That's what MOU was about. Now what's happening? Is it happening? No, everything is a stalemate. Everything is stalemate. No refugee has been repatriated except for one or two, just showing to the international media that low people are coming back. That's not true. Only a handful may have gone through selective process. The condition is not conducive on the ground for refugees to go back. Where are they going to go? They are going back to where? From one camp from Bangladesh side to another camp to Myanmar. Do they need that to go to another camp? That would be even worse to be in camp in Myanmar side. No, they need to go back to their original homes, as the MOU has clearly spelled out. It's not happening, conditions are conducive. UN teams and international teams have visited, Bangladesh foreign minister has visited, everybody saying the one single thing. Conditions are conducive, there's nothing there that where Rohingya can go back to. So they say there are issues, there's NVC issues that we don't have time to talk about. I will say this, NVC, National Verification Card, was not in the MOU signed by the Bangladesh government. Now Myanmar government has injected that NVC to the process. Verification is good. You have to verify who is coming back. But this NVC is not verification. It is a totally different thing. It is a ploy by the government of Myanmar that maybe you can look up on internet what NVC is all about. It's a trap. NVC process is. We want them to verify. Bangladesh government and UN is verifying the Rohingya. Myanmar government, Myanmar can join them and do verification, not the NVC card. NVC card is very different. That card, whoever get it, can qualify to apply for class 3 citizenship. This is a totally different thing. So now, possible solution. I will leave it there because of the time issue here. Possible solution. Is it possible? A result? Can we find a solution? Absolutely, we can find a solution. It's a reality. It is not a wish list, but there has to be a strategic approach to this, how we can find a solution to this issue. First of all, we won't go anything. I'm talking about 200,000 plus people still there. And Bangladesh has refugees. We need to stabilize the population. Rohingya people are leaving their homeland, or these native, the indigenous people of the land, They are living. We need to stabilize population. We cannot continue to see that exodus is taking place every day, every decades. Every now and then, people are living. A stabilization of population is a major priority. Then we have resident villages. We have IDPs. There are IDP camps inside Burma. It's like exists the last 2 decades. They need to go back to their home. They are already inside Burma. They need to go back to their homes. That issue has to be addressed. And these IDP camps. So that's one thing. Security for Rohingya people. Who is providing security for Rohingya people? They're getting killed. They're being raped. They're being violent. There are atrocities against them. Violations, serious violations. Who is going to provide them protection? This is something that is a serious issue. Protection. If there is no protection for them, they go back to Burma. They will be back to Bangladesh in no time. They will be just going to Burma back to come back to Bangladesh. So we have to address those issues. We have to address those issues. Sustainability. We have to sustain what we do for our people when they return. What they are going to eat. Their farmlands are gone. Their villages have been burned. So their population, if they can return, their security has to be there with safe zone for them. They need to be protected by someone. Can the Myanmar armed forces protect them? The very armed forces which has been killing them, raping them. So let's think about that. So there has to be a safe zone for them who can provide their protection, their food supplies. They have to be self-sustained. They cannot be fed bags of rice. International community, they have to generate their own livelihood. Condition has to be there like they are farming. It's an agrarian society. They have done farming and fishing mainly. They have to be able to do that rather than relying on international community to feed them all their lives. It becomes very vulnerable population if you do that. Then that's something that very important. UNHCR and UNDP has signed MOU with Myanmar government recently. We applauded that. That's a good step, but that's not enough. Just signing MOU. What is the progress? Now, according to recent reports, those of UNHCR and UNDP officials have visited Rakhine State, but no substantive step is taken with regard to resettlement and rehabilitation of these people. So we are demanding the international community to pursue. We are losing time. We cannot just wait and wait and wait and wait. So that has to be done. UN fact-finding mission. You have seen this week report. UN fact-finding mission has spelled out what they found. Everything based on the facts of their own finding. So that kind of activity, that has to be sustained. That kind of activity, international, has to be sustained. International without international pressure on Myanmar, particularly the military and leadership, we not see a lot of hope. So this international support is the key on Rohingya issue. UN Security Council, I was there last week. We have been working with Security Council very closely, and they have met last week. I invite you to Google and watch that video from last Tuesday. Fantastic. Okay, we are not going to have euphoria on this, but there's some hope that international coalitions are building up. We need a lot of countries. We have a lot of countries supporting us, but we need more Security Council members to join and work in a unison, in a one voice, same theme. There should not be any discord or any kind of inconsistency in UN Security Council members. And alhamdulillah is coming, but we have work to do to bring others. There is opposition too. Then, most important thing I want to say last is accountability. Crimes against humanity has been committed. There's no question. You see the videos, you talk to the victims, women, children, elderly, crimes have been committed. Now, what's the next? It has to be that those who are responsible has to be correctly identified. Chains of commands in Burma, top down. So they have to be identified, and it has to be followed through international jurisprudence, international law. International law requires ICC, it can be ICC, Roma Statute, and a lot of international arrangements and procedures can be followed to bring those who committed horrible crimes against children, against women, against elderly of Rohingya that we have seen. So to wrap up, what do we want from you? You are here attending this conference, and then how you can help. How, as American citizens, as an international group, how you can help. Your support. You can provide all kinds of support. Attending here is a support. Let's start from here. There's a political support you can provide, working with your congressmen, working with your local politicians, working with your neighbors, interfaith groups, your friends, American, Jewish, Christian, other friends, working with them politically. Humanitarian efforts, you can donate Rohingya. There are so many organizations working on the ground in Bangladesh. We need the support there more than anywhere else. So anywhere, any organization is working to help Rohingya, please go and donate to them so they can help Rohingya on the ground. Your moral support is important because Rohingya people are very strong people. They are resounding their ability to, they want to go back to their country with safety and security. So you have to buy, their resolve is strong. So we need to continue to support them to stay strong. And of course, material and any other kind of material support, inshallah, you will be able to provide support for them. So stand with Rohingya, stand for Rohingya. Thank you very much.
Jazakallah khair, Dr. Wakar. Next we have Samir Hossain. Brother Samir Hossain joined the United States Department of State Office of International Religious Freedom in 2011. His office has a global mandate, and he and his team advise the Ambassador at Large for International Religious Freedom and the Special Advisor for Religious Minorities on 13 countries in South and Central Asia region. He's responsible for monitoring religious freedom conditions, advising policymakers, and editing the department's annual report on international religious freedom. He received a Juris Doctor from Howard University School of Law and a Bachelor's of Art in Political Science from the University of Michigan. Brother Samir.
Everyone, thank you very much, Sister Hena, and my co-panelists as well, Dr. Wakar and Mujahid. Incredible mentors for me in my role, and it's an honor to share the stage with them, and I thank all of you for your interest in this topic. I'm going to do something different, and rather than my prepared remarks, I'm going to just jump into the issue that a lot of people are interested in, and for the vast majority of you have this question in your mind: why hasn't the State Department determined that the situation that has happened to the Rohingya people, why has that not been declared genocide? I'm sure many of you are thinking about this. It's a question that's on everyone's mind, and I can tell you it's on the minds of everyone I'm working with. They are asking what happened there, and on top of that, what is the appropriate approach and solution? Dr. Wakar gave some excellent examples. Those are things that we are looking into as well, and I'll get into a little bit more. But I just wanted to step back a little bit. What is it that we're talking about here? The concept of genocide, it's a legal term of art. It is something that our lawyers at the State Department are looking at very closely, lawyers around the world are looking at, and essentially there are certain requirements that the facts have to match, the legal analysis have to match, in order for this determination to be made. It's a responsibility that the Secretary of State, any Secretary of State, takes with a lot of seriousness, and they, look at every single issue related to this determination very seriously. They carefully deliberate such a determination after thorough review of the facts and legal analysis. This is something most of you know. And I'm just walking you through this as we think about this issue. And then, as far as where we are in that process, it is a work in progress. Like I said, there's many people looking at this issue. I'll describe my work on this issue in terms of the Rohingya crisis, the refugees in Bangladesh, the situation in Burma. I'll reference some of the work of my colleagues throughout the State Department and other agencies as well. But I wanted to leave you with this message. that just because a determination has not been made that you're expecting or you're asking for doesn't mean that we're not doing something about this issue. I think we have a strong story to tell. I'm representing the government of the United States. I can say with surety we are doing a lot on this issue. We are essentially the lead on this issue around this world. A lot of countries around the world always look to us for leadership. I can say on this issue, we've been working on this for a very long time. We've taken deliberate action both since August of last year and since the time that Dr. Wakar mentioned, going back to the 70s. I'll list some of those things that the U.S. government has done on this issue. I'm in the Office of International Religious Freedom. It's a congressionally mandated office. Within the State Department, I report to the Ambassador at Large for International Religious Freedom. His name is Sam Brownback. He has been in his position since February of this year. When he came into this role, in his swearing-in ceremony at the White House, he mentioned that the Rohingya issue is a priority, and it's been a top priority for him. I advise him on the region that encompasses South Asia and Central Asia, which includes Bangladesh. And I have colleagues who cover East Asia, so Burma is part of their portfolio, but I work very closely with them. But Ambassador Brownback came to us, and he wanted to know all the facts. He said, what do we know? And then he wanted to look into what his role should be. And so we actually went to the camps early in his tenure, April of this year. As part of his first international trip as Ambassador at Large, he went to the Rohingya camps in Cox's Bazar, Bangladesh. And while he was there, he had one question in mind: what happened to him, and why? And so we went, this is again only in Bangladesh, in Cox's Bazar. We went to the main refugee camp there, the Palong refugee camp, very close to the border of Burma, but we also started our trip by driving past the camps and going all the way to the Burmese border. Because Ambassador Brownback for himself wanted to see what the situation was. And when we were there, we saw what often is referred to as no man's land in the news. If you follow this issue closely, you can hear about a lot of people camped out on no man's land. And we actually went right up to it, and I was very surprised. I've read about this in the news, but I didn't really realize how close we were to the people. And basically, there's a little stream, and on the other side, the land between Burma and Bangladesh, and there was about 1,000 people camped out. So Ambassador Brownback said, can I speak to them? And so people just walked across, and they came up to us, and we had the Bangladeshi military with us, their security with us, but they were allowed to just come and talk to us. And Ambassador Brownback asked what happened to you. And so some of the Imams there who were camped out on the side came to us, and they talked to us. And my family happens to be from Bangladesh originally, and I spoke to them in Bangla, and they understood me, and then some of them responded in Bangla, and they said, one of the things they said to us, they killed Muslims wherever they found them. So Ambassador Brownback said, well, what do you mean? That's an important statement. We want to know more about that. And basically they said, look, we look different. We dress a certain way. We pray. They know where we live. And some of these people have known us our whole lives, and they know we're Muslims, and we're practicing Muslims. And basically when this assault happened after August 25th, 2017, they came and just shot us, and we ran away, and we found safety here. And we said, well, who did this to you? And they said it was Burmese military. It was sometimes it was border guard police. Sometimes it was even their neighbors. They said that people came with sticks, with knives, and they came after us. And Ambassador Brownback had been reading about this. We briefed him. He was shocked. He was like, who else has stories? And then young children came to us. And there's families here. I'm not going to go into the details, but young children had seen some of the most horrific violence. I couldn't even imagine. I had a hard time hearing it. And a little bit about Ambassador Brownback. He was most recently in the government of the state of Kansas. Prior to that, he was a senator representing the state of Kansas, and even before that, he was in the House of Representatives. And he had seen many atrocities take place around the world, and was directly involved in U.S. policy to address those issues. And in 2004, he was one of the first U.S. officials on the ground in Darfur, Sudan, to see what had happened there. And he was involved in passing legislation to address that issue. And he looked at this situation, and he came away with the fact that every single person he spoke to at the border, and the camps, even people we've been talking to afterwards, everyone had seen violence. He said even in Darfur, people heard of violence and they fled. They heard about the neighboring village being attacked and they fled. Here, every single man, woman, child, elderly person, imam, everyone that we spoke to, random sampling, nobody was prepared, They they described in detail the violence that they witnessed, that they experienced. And he was beyond shocked. He could not understand what had happened in this day and age, 2017, 18, just unimaginable. So he's come back. We've been working very closely with Dr. Wakar, Imam Mujahid. What Ambassador Brownback has done is we hold these series of roundtables on a weekly basis, and the two of them and people they work with have been informing us about the situation, what can be done, and we've been listening. I actually leave it to them to tell you, whether we've been good listeners, whether we've been partners, but I can tell you we've benefited greatly from the passion that they bring, the knowledge, the network, the resources, and it's really helped inform our policy on this. If you've been paying attention to the news, last week, Ambassador Haley, the United Nations Security Council, said something very strong. And I kind of wanted to end with that to explain where we are in our assessment of the situation. And what she said in her closing remarks was, she was talking about the UN fact-finding mission, which has concluded its initial report, Dr. Wakar mentioned. And Ambassador Haley publicly referenced an effort by the State Department to do its own documentation, its own fact-finding. And what we did was we supported an effort by researchers with other conflicts, such as in Darfur, to document the eyewitness accounts of 1,024 refugees that are currently in Bangladesh, and going into detail about what they experienced, what they witnessed. And this is what Ambassador Haley concluded with in her remarks to the Security Council. She said, "We are now all armed with the devastating eyewitness accounts of the Rohingya, which lead us to the following conclusions. Children, babies, women, and men suffered unspeakable crimes. The attacks were planned, premeditated, and coordinated. The perpetrator was the Burmese military and security forces. The whole world is watching what we will do next, and if we will act." I know that question remains, what is the determination, but I want to assure you that people at the highest levels of this government, Vice President Pence, Secretary Pompeo, Ambassador Haley, my boss, Ambassador Brownback, have spoken at length about this issue, what they've seen, how alarmed they are, but they're committed to a solution, and they're working around the clock on this issue. This is not an issue we take lightly, or we'll even forget if it's not the main headline on any given day. And we're committed. We appreciate your interest in this topic. It actually helps us in gathering our information and looking at potential solutions. I'm going to leave it at that. I could speak at length about this issue, but we're hoping this is more of a conversation. I want to hand it over to Sister Hena to keep the conversation. So, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Brother Zuberi, for letting us, because a lot of times we do have questions, and to hear it firsthand from you has been quite enlightening. Next, our last speaker, where I'm going to invite Imam Abdul Mujahid, who's an award-winning author with a focus on contemporary social issues, public policy, and ISNA. He chairs the Burma Task Force, which works on stopping the genocide of Rohingyas in Burma. He's also the president of Sound Vision. Please, Imam Mujahid.
Assalamu alaikum. Alhamdulillah, alladhi kafa wa salatu wa salamu ala Sayyidina Muhammad Mustafa. All praises to God Almighty. May Allah keep us all safe. We're free here to gather, listen to each other, be inspired, and do something about it. There are people around the world who do not have that freedom. And some of those people who struggled for decades have arrived in our country. May Allah keep them strong and they grow up, and their children become the carrier of this message that freedom must be for all people. May I request all the Rohingya people to stand up. There are Rohingya brothers and sisters, please stand up. They are your brothers and sisters. So Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Please sit down. Once program is over, meet them, hug them, tell me I'm your sister, I'm your brother, I'm with you. Are you okay with that?
Yes.
Each one of you, don't leave the home until you touch their heart and meet with them. And there are other people here, and I recognize some of them, who have taken off from their job and gone there to help people. Could you, those brothers and sisters, stand up, who go there and help, are supporting? Back there, where's that sister who's gone? Is she there? Oh, please stand up. Stand up. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. So there are brothers and sisters who go and help out. So meet with them and thank them as well. You know, the world failed to act on this. And it was done very methodologically. Can you get that screen up? For somehow it disappeared. As soon as I switched, it went up. So this sister name is Nora Anwara. She's 13-year-old, my granddaughter's age. I see my granddaughter, I think of her, and anytime I see her, I have seen her 3 times. She was 13-year-old when her parents were murdered, her brothers and sisters were killed, and she was taken by soldiers. She said, I don't know what happened. I'll wake up and there'll be more of them. In the morning, she somehow escaped. When you are in Rome, you have a sister, you have a daughter, think of Anwara. What Rohingya wants? Rohingya has been very clear saying, call it a genocide. Because there's an international law which was signed after Holocaust. It's called Genocide Treaty. Our country is signatory of that, and it obligates people to prevent genocide and punish those who are responsible for it. And no sending these people back without security and citizenship, and put full sanctions on Burma until it's willing to restore their citizenship, provide them security, and keep supporting Bangladesh and asking them to give full refugee status to Rohingya people. These are the demands which have been adopted by them. So security and citizenship is critical because they have been playing human ping pong for these people. Just look the year, thrown out, taken back, thrown out, taken back, send them again, kill them for more, they run away, they bring them back, rape their women, bring them back. This game cannot go on. That's how 2.5 million people are elsewhere in the world, not there in ancestral home inside Burma. And those who are left, they are being killed without food and medicine, and even UN is not allowed to feed them. I had Buddhist Americans on my request, they are friends. We said, Muslim America will give you money. You get permission, your Buddhists get permission from Burmese Buddhist government that you will feed them and we need no credit. So those who are inside could be fed. After 2 months of negotiation, Burmese government refused American Buddhists to feed those people. So this thing, there used to be full sanctions on Burma. Unfortunately, these things were lifted because with the hope that things will change. 46 human rights organizations, including Burma Task Force, wrote together in a giant letter to President Obama, don't do that. He did that, and they took as a green light, and he started destroying them, and this thing is just going on. And a reporter asked me in National Press Trust, if we are unable to stop the genocide, what will be the impact around that? And I said, God forbid. There are situations, it could worsen. It could worsen in China, it could worsen in India, and within Burma, after going through with the Rohingya Muslim, they will go after Kachin, who 90% of them are Christians. And that is happening. Look at this map. This map is South Asia map. In China, we failed to stop genocide in Burma. We kept talking, issuing reports, issuing a statement, we failed. The world failed. The world would say never again, knew it fully well. There are satellite images while genocide is going on, compared with images before and compared with images afterward. The world failed. So what happened? China in April had 1 million Muslims without any charge, without any trial in the concentration camps. And Vice President of the United States 1 month ago in the ministerial conference said there are millions of them. An organization of human rights on Chinese came up with a report there are 3 million Muslims in concentration camp of the China. And I met a sister in Toronto, I just came this morning. Sister in Toronto, she has 6 aunties. All 6 of their husbands are in concentration camp. All their children are forcefully taken to orphanage run by Chinese. And what is happening with those 6 sisters? They're in their home, but each home a Chinese man has been forced to live. What's happening in India? Because we failed to stop a genocide here. There is a genocide watch in Washington, D.C. Professor Greg, what's his last name? Stanton. Greg Stanton runs that. He spotted me 1 month ago in the conference. He said, do you know that I have issued a genocide alert about India? He said, really? He sent me during that message because 4 million Muslims have lost their citizenship in India. This is the process which happened where? It happened in Burma. Rape, throwing people out, taking citizenship, doing other things to them, dehumanize them, corner them, and world will remain silent, nobody will talk about them, they can do whatever they want. So I'm looking forward to you, brothers and sisters. Are you with me? Are you with me? Yes. I'm looking forward to you speaking and doing something about it. We have a program, and I think you have it on your sheets. If not, we will give it to you. September is very critical. OIC, European Union will pass resolution, it will come to United Nations. We need you to come, go after Muslim countries. What are you doing about it? America has given $300 million. We have given more money for Rohingya people than any or all Muslim countries together, unless they're doing secret and not announcing it publicly. We need to go after them. You need to pick up a phone and call China. We know you supported genocide in Burma, and now you have 3 million Muslims in the concentration camp without trial, without any charge. Why are you doing that? Can you stop it? They need to know the world is watching, but it will happen if only we Muslims do. Otherwise, things will worsen. This is one of the satellite image of the concentration camps. And this sister, 8-year-old, early this year in India, was kidnapped, taken to a temple, and there gang raped. Then they murdered her and threw her publicly. Why? Why did they do that? They did that so Muslims from that village will go away. Where did it happen? It happened in Burma. Who said it first? In 2014, New York Times wrote an article that extremists in Burma and extremists in India who are in government and power, they are meeting together against Muslims. If you want to have that editorial, I have a copy of it, I can share that with you. So it's very important to realize that these things are being done in a very serious manner. So Christians are next. In Burma, they are going after Kachin Baptist. So Muslims have interfaith alliances, we need to work with them. In China, Tibetan, Buddhist, as well as Christians are under difficulty. Muslims need to work with them, so interfaith alliances and whatnot work on a cause with Muslims in China. So we need to work in alliances and coalition to take these things forward. Same thing in India. So one request I have, support Burma Task Force. I'm a volunteer for it. I don't take a single penny from this. I have a job at Sun Vision. I have dedicated 6 years of my life because nobody was speaking, and where my neighbor was from Burma, and he told me something need to be done. It's a united effort. 38 Muslim organizations are part of it. Now we have developed a faith coalition, so Christians and Buddhists and Jewish people are part of that. If you know any Christian organization, they need to become member of that. This campaign has been significant and good for us. The short-term achievements are listed there. 2 resolutions by Republicans. Don't give up on Republicans. They are human beings. When you talk to them, they understand. America has increased funding for these people. Burma Task Force have hired 2 barristers in London, and we have filed a case in International Criminal Court, and judges have to rule on that. So several things are being done. But think of the long term as well. This is the way we did to provide a conference in Oslo and whatnot. And this is the model which we have used, and now in ICC. And this funding, Canada has beat US. Thank you. I still have 3 minutes, so I'll conclude that, inshallah. So understand the work model. Work model is that we form Muslim community. So how many of you receive action alert of Burma Task Force? Raise your hand if you do. Oh, mashallah, 40-50% do. Rest of you need to sign up. And it's very 4-minute read. What is it? What phone number to use? Who to call? And what to say? You can do that in 10 minutes. So that's why we call it 10-minute campaign. So we inform the Muslim community, and we expect them to connect with other allies which we have. And together we work with a lobbying firm and a PR firm to put pressure on Congress and administration. This is our work model, and this is something which we did in Burma, Bosnia days, when Muslim in America was very successful at achieving things. So these are our current strategies. Organize Muslim through Burma Task Force, organize All-American and Kachin and Rohingya together, and that is a model through Faith Coalition, faithcoalition.org, and now we are launching Genocide.org. So you work with them. So short-term request is that September is going to be very critical, extremely critical September. If we are unable to move and do things, then probably we'll have to wait 4 or 5 months until the next year and the next government is settled down and whatnot. So it is important. And for September, we are looking for every day, Tuesday and Thursday, we're looking for action. And this action will take about 10-15 minutes. How many of you are willing to give 10-15 minutes twice a week? Raise your hand. That's it? That's all you can do? Few more people? Thank you so much. And we will tell you, if you sign up, every week you will receive what you need to do on Tuesday, what you need to do on Thursday, just for the September. And March 11th, 10th and 11th is critical next year. So we are preparing for the next year for the lobbying day sign up. So thinking point about the future. Do I have 1 more minute? Oh, she gave me 1 minute sign right there. So my time and your time is good. Thank you so much. Few things which I like to know about the future. 40% Muslims in the world live as a minority. Just like in Burma, just like in India, just like in China, just like in America and Canada. We need to know more about each other. This whole idea we are American Muslim and taking our face with our tie somewhere doesn't work. Globalization is bringing world together. You cannot divide a Ummah. Actually, turn it around. We are American Muslim and proud American. It has no conflict with being proud Muslim. At the same time, we know streets of the world, we know languages of the world. We are eyes and ears for America. We can take America forward. And the way we do it, there are 1.5 billion Muslims, 57 countries, we are connected with that. On that, instead of divorcing that heritage. And that's how we need to build. So thank you so much. There are a few things we need to think about in the future that, things are changing. But inshallah, things will change for the positive. If we work on them, Muslims have many causes. Muslims have many causes. If you're working on Palestine, thank you. If you're working on Syria, Jazakallah. But if you're not working on a cause, please join us. We're working in a way that Muslims build muscles to be able to influence our own government. It's working, it will work better if we are working together. Thank you.
Jazakallah khair, Imam Abdul. He convinced me to give up my full-time job and work on the Rohingya issue full-time. So if I can be convinced, I hope to God, after listening to all of this, that you all will be convinced. This cannot be done without you. We're going to move on to questions and answers, but before that, I'd like to give the floor for 2 minutes to Dr. Hossain and Dr. Mullah. If you would like to say something, these are two doctors who have been to the camps and can speak about the medical issues that the Rohingyas are facing. So just a minute each, perhaps.
Thank you so much. I'm a pediatrician. I'm a professor, assistant professor of pediatrics at UT Southwestern in Dallas, and a pediatric hospitalist. And I've had the honor of going to the camps in near Cox's Bazar, near the border of Myanmar, in Bangladesh twice. I think that a lot of what I witnessed there has already been said by Samir. But basically, I'll just share with you, one day our clinic was visited by Physicians for Human Rights. It's a group that wanted to come in and interview the Rohingya about the stories of what happened. And in that day, I heard so many stories directly from our patients when we asked them what happened. Many of them said that they were sitting in their homes, just having dinner, or just together as a family when the Burmese army would come in and make an announcement that you need to leave your homes now, and if you don't, then we're going to kill you. So some of them immediately picked up their children, whatever they could, and started running. Some of them went outside of their homes because they didn't understand what was going on, and then the army set fire to their homes with their children inside. They could not go back in with their children. Many of them just ran. They tell us that they ran through a jungle to get to the water's edge. That trip took them anywhere, I heard, between 8 days, some said 9 days, some said even up to 15 days. I don't know what they ate during this trip when they fed their children to get to the border of Bangladesh. Then they had to cross a body of water, which the level of which rises sometimes during the year. Some of them had to wade through chest-deep water to get to the border of Bangladesh. The army didn't stop pursuing them. Many of them were killed all the way to the border. One of my colleagues reported a story where the daughter of a family was taken by the army at the border. The son was killed in front of them. Many families described to us that their children were killed. Many of them described to us that they witnessed rape. It was very hard, very difficult to hear their stories. When they arrived in Bangladesh, they were given bamboo poles and tarp, and many of them had to build their own shelters, and these are what you see when you go to the camps still today. Very, very difficult situation. I know I only have 2 minutes, I'm sorry, I think I've taken that time, but these are some of the stories that we've heard firsthand, and it's something a burden that I carry, because I, just like Samir now, once you go there, you become witness to these things. It becomes a heavy burden to carry and to share, so I appreciate the time to come and talk to you about it. I know we have other members here from OBOT Clinic, which is actually operating inside of the camps, and so many of us are available to answer questions if anyone has specific questions. Thank you so much.
the audience. Would like to take a question?
Assalamualaikum, my name is Rakhine. I have been to Bangladesh twice doing relief work. What, as U.S. citizens, can we do, or are you folks suggesting we do, or what you're doing to find a political solution and a relief efforts that are very much needed?
Can we get a few more questions, and then perhaps the panel will address them?